I started to get a little concerned, thinking,
where are we and what are we doing here?
hi you guys, my name is KD. Welcome back to my channel. For my second video, I thought I'd share a little bit about my experience traveling out of the country for the first time and my first time staying in a hostel. To give you a little bit of backstory, when I met my partner, I told her that I'd never been out of the country, that I always wanted to go somewhere, especially to Spain. And she had already traveled a bit, so she suggested that we go to Costa Rica because we were college students at that time, and so we're pretty much broke. But Costa Rica was very inexpensive. It may still be inexpensive, but I know it probably isn't as inexpensive as it was when we went back then. And so we bought our plane tickets and she started planning the entire trip. And while she was planning, she brought up staying in a hostel. And I'm thinking, I've seen that movie and it's a no for me. And she's like, no, well, we should do it because, we don't have that much money and it's less expensive than staying in a hotel, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm all for less expensive. So eventually I caved. I'm like, okay, we could stay in a hostel. But I brought up several times to her, like, this better be okay. We better not die. It better be safe. I'm trusting you. If anything goes wrong, it's all on you. So fast forward, we land in San Jose, Costa Rica, which I know nothing about. And we go outside of the airport, look for a driver that she had prearranged to pick us up. We find a guy, he has her name on a placard saying Ellie, and so we know that's our driver. Ellie and the guy start speaking back and forth in Spanish, and I'm only picking up small bits and pieces like amigas and driver and San Jose and the name of the hostel or whatever. We get in the van, we're waiting for two other women to show up who are going to stay at the same hostel as us. They eventually arrive, they get in the van too. Now it's like 11 p.m. at night. So, I'm still a little nervous. Like, what is this going to be like? We can't really change our minds because it's, very dark outside and it'll be difficult to find there's just so many thoughts running through my head. Let's just put it like that. So we start driving towards the hostel and I'm just looking out the windows and I'm thinking, this is not a good idea. It was not. Not only were there bars on the windows, but they had fences, and not any kind of fences, but really tall fences with barbed wire on it. And so I started to get a little concerned, thinking,
where are we and what are we doing here?
So we continue driving and we eventually stop in front of a gate that looks like something out of the Chainsaw Massacre. And when I tell you my heart started pounding, like,
what has happened? What have we gotten ourselves into, and am I about to die?
It's super dark outside. There are hardly any street lights, if any. I don't even think there were any, because then this shadow comes out of nowhere and starts unlocking the padlock and chain around the fence to open it up so that this van can go through. I'm thinking,
why am I here? And is this the end?
So the gate opens up, the van goes through the gate. The person who appeared out of nowhere shuts the gate behind us and locks it. I'm looking over it like,
if I make it out of this alive, I will never do this again.
We stop in front of a door and the guy's pretty much like, you guys can get out. I look at the other two girls like, you can go first, because I'm not moving. Oh, I guess the other girls were smart too because they didn't move. We were all sitting there like, eventually this guy comes and opens the van, and I don't know if he thought that was going to convince us to move, but I'm still like, he eventually got the point and he went and opened up the door to this building. At that point, the two girls get out and they start walking in, and once I realize, oh, they haven't been killed or snatched around the corner, then we decided to get out. And it was very inviting. It was nothing like what I thought it was going to be, because really I thought it was like a meat house where we were about to just be slaughtered and killed. That is what was going on in my head. Once we got in, it was nothing like what I expected. There were a lot of people around, a lot of young people, lots of paintings on the wall. There were people chatting, playing on their cell phones, on the computers. And we go up to the counter. They gave us a voucher to get a free drink at the bar. It was incredible. I had no idea that I would have such a great time at a hostel, but I loved almost every second of it. I loved meeting the new people, getting advice on where to go, hearing about everyone's travel experiences and where they've been. There's so many people to give you recommendations. It was just so eye-opening. And I honestly believe that not only traveling out of the country for the first time, but staying in a hostel was life-altering for me, because it just opened my eyes up to such that it just opened my eyes to the fact that there was so much more to the world than I had ever experienced before that. Just being able to hear what other people had already done in their lives motivated me to want to see travel out more, to go to different places that I had never even considered. I mean, my mind was pretty much stuck on places like Spain, and to hear people saying that they were going to places that weren't even in Europe just was mind-blowing to me. And I know for some people that's not a big deal, but for me, coming from the small community that I came from, and from growing up poor, it was just, like I said, eye-opening. And so I wouldn't change that experience of staying in a hostel for anything in the world. I will say though that of course staying in a hostel isn't always amazing. The things that weren't that great to me is, sharing showers, because I just don't like sharing showers in general in life. Now, I will say with a lot of hostels, you can get private bathrooms, so those are options. Now, this was my first time staying in a hostel, and like I said, we're broke college students, so we're going for very budget friendly. We had our own room, but we did share a bathroom, and so I believe that was the only thing I pretty much didn't like with the hostel that I stayed in, is that we just had to share a bathroom, and it was just we shared the bathroom only with one other couple that had a private room, so it wasn't that bad. I still didn't like it. This hostel was amazing. It had a pool, it had a restaurant, a bar, and like I said, the people gave a lot of recommendations for places to visit. It was a pretty cool hostel back then. So my first time staying in a hostel was overall like A+ experience. I think that's the reason why even when I traveled again, I would stay in hostels a lot. So I think that's why even traveling now, I'm not, worried or concerned if I need to stay in a hostel. I think that everyone should do it at least once. I don't know. I just wanted to come and share that experience. I hope that you guys got something out of it. In that if you haven't considered staying in a hostel, that maybe you'll consider doing it at least once in your lifetime to see what it's like. Meet a lot of people, learn different things. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please drop comments down below if you have any questions, or let me know if you stayed in a hostel before. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Why didn't you? And if you do want to stay in a hostel but you're concerned, let me know what your concerns are. Maybe I can help out, or the other people who comment down below can help you out. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to my channel. Peace.